What if the most powerful man in the world refused to live like one? Not because he had to, but because he chose to. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome at its absolute peak, with power, wealth, and control all within reach. And still, he chose the floor over a bed, simple food over luxury, discipline over comfort. Every single day he reminded himself of one thing: nothing lasts. Now take that mindset and drop it into today's world. A world built on impulse, one-click shopping, endless ads, buy now, pay later. A system designed not to serve you, but to drain you. And it forces a question most people avoid. When did freedom become something you have to finance? Because today, chaos isn't rare, it's normal. Debt is normal. Overspending is normal. Stress is normal. And that's the problem. Because 2,000 years ago, one of the most powerful men alive was doing the exact opposite. He was training himself to want less, not more. He wasn't writing for attention. He wasn't building a following. He was trying to survive his own mind. Those private thoughts became meditations. And inside them is something we've almost completely lost: control. Marcus was born into wealth. He could have lived like every other emperor, but he didn't. He trained his mind like a weapon. He expected loss, he expected pain, he expected things to break, and he accepted that control is an illusion. He lived through war, plague, betrayal, and economic collapse, and still he stayed steady. Different world, same chaos. But unlike today, he didn't let chaos control him, because his goal was never comfort. It was control. At the peak of Rome's power, when luxury was everywhere, he chose simplicity. Not because he had to, but because he didn't trust comfort. He saw luxury for what it really is: a test, not a reward. And that idea alone breaks the modern system. Because everything around you is built on one belief: consume more, upgrade more, want more, never enough. And here's the truth. You're not just living in an economy. You're inside a machine. A system designed to keep you slightly uncomfortable, so you keep chasing, so you keep spending, so you never stop. Your attention is monetized, your emotions are targeted, and your insecurity is profitable. The result is a world full of people who look successful but feel trapped. People earning more than ever, but saving less than ever. Constantly comparing, constantly upgrading, constantly anxious. That's not accidental. That's design. And this is where Stoicism becomes powerful again. Not as quotes or aesthetics, but as a tool. Because Stoicism isn't about removing emotion. It's about not being controlled by it, especially when money is involved. Marcus reminded himself that you can't control markets, crises, or what happens next. But you can control how you respond. And that changes everything. Imagine handling money like that. No panic, no emotional decisions, no chasing status just to feel like enough. Just clarity. Because most financial problems today aren't just financial. They're emotional. We spend when we feel insecure. We upgrade when we feel behind. We compare when we feel uncertain. And the system feeds all of it. Marcus understood something most people still don't. If your peace depends on external things, you will never be free. Not when you get the car, not when you get the house, not even when you hit your number. Because something else will always replace it. That's why he focused inward. Because that's the only place no one can take from you. Now think about this. What if, instead of reacting to money, you prepared for it? What if, instead of chasing more, you needed less? What if, instead of predicting the future, you became stable enough to handle it? That's real power. Not income, not status. Stability. Because look around. Inflation is back. Debt is rising. Uncertainty is everywhere. And most people are just hoping things will work out. But hope is not a strategy. Marcus didn't wait for the system to improve. He improved himself, his habits, his expectations, and his reactions. And that's where this becomes practical. Because you don't need to master finance overnight, and you don't need complex strategies.
You need clarity. What do you actually need? What are you afraid of losing, and why? Most people never ask those questions. They just follow the script, spend, upgrade, repeat. And the system rewards that behavior, but at a cost: your freedom. Because the more you need, the easier you are to control. And the more you simplify, the harder it becomes to control you. That's the part no one talks about. Needing less is power. Real power. So the next time things get uncertain, markets drop, prices rise, and fear kicks in, pause. Don't react immediately. Breathe. Simplify. Step back. Because financial freedom isn't built in moments of comfort. It's built in moments of control. And in the end, it's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you depend. Marcus Aurelius didn't have modern tools. No apps, no markets, no financial advisors. But he understood something deeper than all of them. If you don't control your desires, they will control you. And once that happens, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. That's the real trap. And avoiding it, that's real wealth. That's real freedom. If this story gave you a new perspective, consider subscribing. Because on this channel, history isn't just about the past. It's a warning. And the real question is whether we're willing to listen.